my name is Eric. I work at the Fairbanks Branch Library, part of the Harris County Public Library System. Today, in place of the computer classes that I would normally teach at the Fairbanks Branch Library, I'm going to be offering a short class on how to use Google Docs, which is a free alternative to Microsoft Word. This is great for those of you who don't have access to the Microsoft Office suite. It can be very expensive, but Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides are free to use, so I'm going to be teaching a class on how to create a resume in Google Docs today. The first thing you'll need to do is navigate to the site, and if you look in my address bar here, the address of the site is docs.google.com. You will need a Google account to make use of this software. I'm already signed into my account. You'll need to sign into your account before you'll be able to access the software. Once you're in, you'll notice that it looks fairly similar to Microsoft Word if you've ever used that software before. It doesn't have quite as many features as Word does. It's a little bit simpler, but it's also very easy to use and has some other advantages like being easier to store your documents in the cloud. So today we're going to practice by making a resume, and the first thing we're going to do is just in plain text type in the content of our resume, which will include things like our contact information, skills, experience, education, and any certifications or other languages you may speak. You'll want to include those as well. So I've already typed in some of the information I need, and I can add it in here piece by piece. I'm just using the undo feature to add this. You can use undo to remove mistakes you've made and redo to return them. So I deleted my text in advance, that way I could add it back without having to type everything. Here in my contact info, you'll see my name, phone number, address, and email. Now I'm going to add in skills. You can add in a new line by pressing the Enter key on your keyboard. And under the header of skills, I have numerous skills that I want the employer to be aware of. That way they can choose me over the other potential applicants. Then I add in some experience, where I list both the job title and the employer, as well as the time I was employed there. Education, which will include the name of any degrees you may have, as well as the school you received them. And I included a subheader here, a subset of information detailing what would be covered in a course like that, in case the person reading it may not be familiar with that particular degree, which may be the case with an HR representative or whomever is reading your resume. Lastly, I add in some certifications and foreign languages. Those are very important to include. Many employers are looking for applicants that are already certified in the work they do or speak languages that are relevant to the area you're applying in. Once you have all of this information laid out, and you'll see that it's very plain right now and our headers are not very clear. We did divide them into groups, which is good, but it's still not very easy to read. So we're going to fix that by adding some bullet points, increasing the size of the font, and centering some things. So this is where we get into the formatting. I'm going to start with my contact information. I'm going to put my name on a line by itself, but the rest I'm just going to separate with a slash. So I'm using the backspace key to remove that extra line and then adding a simple slash in between each piece of my contact info. Now if I click and drag to select all of this text and then navigate up to the toolbar here, you'll find left align, center align, and right align. We want to put this in the center. Once more, I'm going to click and drag, but this time I just want my name, which I can then increase the font size right here. You'll see the default is 11, but I can increase that Let's jump up to 24, which will be about twice as big. You want it to be very easy to see your name, that way whomever reads your resume can remember you. We'll do the same to skills here. We'll make this a little larger. Let's go with 14. And now we have some formatting options here: bold, italic, underline, text color, and highlight color. Let's make skills bold, just like we did with our name here. We'll do the same for experience, size 14, bold, education, 14, bold, certifications, and languages. Already our resume is getting a bit easier to read. It's very clear what the headers are now, so if they're looking for specific information, they can quickly find those groups. Now we will add some bullet points by selecting all of the information that we want to put into bullets. And then we have multiple options here. 2 options: a numbered list, which will have 1, 2, 3 or ABC, and bullets that are simply shapes. I'm going to choose the plain black dots here. 1 click will apply those. And I will do that to each category, just like we did with the bold and size. Here in my list of skills, I have database and office software. This information actually belongs under database and office software. If we indent it to the right, which you can see here, decrease indent and increase indent, if we click increase indent, we can actually have a tiered list so that they can see this is a subset of the category database and office software. If we'd like to remove a bullet point, we can click at the beginning of a line and press backspace, which will take away the bullet. This, again, is a subset of information. It's detailing what we learned in this college course. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to use a new formatting tool called italic, which will slant these letters. And then I'm going to change the text color. You have many options here, but I'm just going to make it a lighter gray. This makes it clear that the focus of our education is the name of the course here, but that this is details regarding that course. Now, as is, this stands to be a pretty good resume. It's easy to see who the resume is for and find their contact info, as well as your skills, experience, education, and certifications. The last thing we'll do is save our resume. That way you would be able to email it or submit it to a website. So we'll navigate up to File, come down to Download, and I'm going to download this as a PDF. I'm going to save the file, and now I have a copy of my resume stored on my computer, which I would be able to attach to an email or submit to the employer's website. If you have any questions or you'd like to attend computer classes at the Fairbanks Library, you'll see our address at the top here. You can stop by and just ask for me. My name is Eric, and I teach computer classes very regularly, several classes a month, including computer basics and Microsoft Office classes. Thank you for listening.